Mr. Ladipo Johnson joins us now as we continue our focus on the expectations of 2013. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, the president, in that speech of his, while he was talking about, I was optimistic and expectedly, he gave that speech, a New Year message to the nation, asking that we all should enlist in this and come together. But from what some have said, you have those who will be somewhat pessimistic, not overtly pessimistic, saying that from the way things are structured, you may not get some very drastic changes unless you change the way perhaps the system is run and then you expect some progress. You think we can move further in 2013 as the structures consistently are?
Yes, I do. And I hope we do. Mr. President is coming up to midterm. He realizes, I believe, that government has to perform. And I believe that there will be a push this year by the federal government and by many state governments to ensure that the masses begin to feel the impact of policies in a positive manner. We've had a lot of programs. Nigeria has always had good programs, in quotes. But what we need to do is impact on the people positively, impact on society. And I believe that the budget that we're looking at 2013 may just take us there if properly implemented. It will not be as quick as people hope. These things take a while. The system of government we run dictates that you have a Senate, you have a House of Reps, and the rule of law must be obeyed. That is the system.
The system of government, are we going to go any faster than we will in the current one?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I listened to the last speaker. I understand some of his sentiments, but if you change the system fundamentally at this stage, you begin to learn again. I'm sure we've forgotten all we had when we had the parliamentary system. I mean, our generation wasn't there at that time. So you begin to learn again. It is good to look at other jurisdictions, but you cannot just, it's difficult. I believe that we have a system in place. I believe that we have a way to amend the fundamentals of the system if we feel there's a need to. And the constitutional amendment that is going on is a step in the right direction. But it's going to take a while. You don't just amend fundamentally like that, yes.
Yeah, do you think that, you said something about how we'll have to learn again. If you listen to some of the advantages he pushed forward, excuse me, for the parliamentary system of government about, making it easier for individuals to aspire to, to leadership, to central leadership, while winning just a very tiny part of, of the country, as it were, and then the rest is determined when you're finally a member of parliament, as it were. Doesn't it hold a special allure? Because some people believe that it is fundamentally how it is that leadership is structured now. A president that needs to go around, appease certain people, and then when finally he's there, he needs to appease all of these people who have made it possible for him to get there. Somehow it just makes it very difficult for any kind of work to go on.
No, I think that basically the advantages that you could get from a parliamentary system in this context would be as to costs of running elections. Definitely the costs will be probably 80% less.
What about the cost of running government?
Yes, the cost of running government as well would be reduced. I believe that even with a presidential system of government, I was in, recently I was somewhere in Oyo State that I went for a program and they're seeking to create a state, carve a state out of Oyo State. And one of the people that I had to sit with and talk to and say, do you really need to carve out a new state? The costs of governance the costs we're facing in this country, recurrent expenditure, it's just astronomical. But unfortunately, from what he said, and he had very logical reasons, from what he said was that, what he was saying was that, look, there's a systemic failure with Nigeria. So if we create a state, then we can appoint another governor, we can employ our own special advisors, we can create more positions, and yes, let the money come down. He
Is that what it's about?
Basically, that was what he was saying. And what I think is that with the creation, Matthew Newhouse, he was the former Australian High Commissioner to Nigeria when President Obasanjo was elected for the first time, actually gave a talk. And there he said, I remember he said that you will find that the system of government you're running will be too expensive for you to maintain. The creation of states, the amount of states you have. Don't take me up on it. I do not feel that all states in Nigeria can really are viable.
What would you suggest?
You understand? It would never happen. But really, we should start to look at people re-emerging, coming together. Yes, we agree that we should reduce the size of governance, the amount of money being spent. We need to do that. Whether we should move all the way, by the way, I have been a proponent in the past, I may still be, of a parliamentary sort of government, you understand? But I do not just believe that we should be abrupt at the stage we're at the moment and just change things overnight and everything.
How do we deal with the mindset that when people think that, just as the chap in your state believes that, look, let it calm down, let development calm down. Perhaps it's a politician, and you got some of them who are in there who also think it's my turn. When I get in there, don't come and start telling me you want to fight corruption now, because if you didn't do that while I was out, not when I'm in, because when I'm in here, I have to do what you guys have done before.
Yes, it's unfortunate. That is the mindset in Nigeria at the moment. And if you try to go against it or say anything different, they say to you that, when you get there, if you get there, it will be the same thing. So it's as if we've lost all hope. But I do not think, I believe we still have enough people who believe in Nigeria, who believe in the system, and who hope and pray and are working towards the system working. Corruption is a big thing. It's endemic in the society. It's not just with governance. If you look at our churches, our mosques, our businesses, we're all guilty one way or the other. So, yeah, you're going to say.
Yes, I was going to say that if you don't buy the idea of a parliamentary system or if you're beginning to give up hope on that, on the fact that we might have to start relearning and that might take too long for development to come. What about the idea? I mean, he also proposed about scrapping one level of government so that, it can spread to the local governments. For instance, scrapping the state government so that the local governments can have more powers and more resources to actually get development to the grassroots.
It may be argued that we are almost at the first stage of that. When the president said that he wanted to make sure that local governments were properly autonomous, as the Constitution says, and wanted to give them their dues directly, as it were. I mean, the gentleman spoke about his, I don't want to become political, about the leader of his party. And they show that they created more local governments, right? Now,
LCDAs?
Development areas, as it were.
Development.
And they started the business of taking from what is meant for Surulere and distributing to the so-called places that they created as well. You understand? So they are more guilty than anyone else at eroding the powers of the local governments. The local governments are meant under the Constitution to handle waste management. What is LOMA? all the local government chairmen had to sign agreements to give Loma the powers to collect on their behalf. Yes, the argument at that time was that they were not efficient at handling waste management. But if we're looking at the law and the legality of